Alright, so this is going to be a quick video showing how to open up and disassemble this Lenovo Legion S7 15ACH6. I think, right? Yep, Legion S7 15ACH6. Alright, so what's going on with this is the SSD is dead. It's been having some issues. It stopped booting up properly. We're using a JAS 0 to remove the screws from the bottom. You want to keep them in order because they are different size, shape, and length. The way I do that is I put them flat side down like that. In the pattern I remove them. So you got 4 here, 2 here, and then you got 2 on the corners down here. Alright, if this video helps you out, make sure to like, subscribe, share my channel with others so that they can learn how to upgrade or repair their devices as well. And if it helps you save a bunch of money, please consider contributing a little to the channel. Every little bit helps and allows me to continue making these videos for a living. So this computer has a really weird issue because I've seen this before, but what happens is even if I wipe the entire hard drive or SSD out, the computer still detects the partitions and doesn't want to install to it. So I don't know what's going on with that. The customer did come with a 2 terabyte SSD, so they wanted me to get it done as soon as possible, and I ordered an SSD, got it in about 2 days, and we're going to be replacing it now. So I'm using a suction cup. I'm going to hold the edge here with my nail and see if I can pull this up, and it doesn't seem to want to pop up that way. So let's see. I remember this wasn't too difficult to pop out. I think, let me try again. We'll pull from here and try and pull from the back. Okay, I actually got my fingernail underneath in a gap here, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to slide my fingernail in there. I'm going to pull up from here. You can see I got my fingernail in there. I don't even need the suction cup at this point. I should be able to just pull up, slide my fingernail in there, and pop the cover out. Okay, so just like that. Okay, like that. We're going to go along here. Then we're going to go along the side, and you can see how that popped up. Go along this side, continue pulling, and there we go. So the bottom half, it slides up like this. It actually has little feet here that kind of catch in there. So you don't want to just yank that. If you try and yank that side, you'll end up breaking clips. So, all right. Clean that up a little bit because it is dusty. Let me see here. This is a little dusty as well. Not as bad, not too bad, but might as well dust it a little while we're here. I did use a powerful air blower earlier to blow out all the dust, so it's only this fine dust that's kind of stuck to the propellers that are still there. Jump out. Okay, so we're gonna do a quick look. There's a M.2 PCIe NVMe SSD here, slot here, as well as here. So this is the main one, and that's the SSD that's bad. Here you can see the battery. The battery has a connector that you gotta like pull it out. This one's a little bit difficult because it just has a small raised lip to pull it back. It looks like all the screws in here are JAS 0 screws. So wireless antennas, you pull up from the tail end and you can pop it out. I have videos showing that on a lot of other models, so if you want to know how to remove certain things that I'm not showing, just watch a bunch of my other videos. You'll be able to figure it out. Okay, you got a speaker cable connector there. The blue one, where's the blue one going? Oh, the blue one is connecting, so this blue and white cable there, that's another speaker connector hidden underneath this plastic here. Okay, sorry, it's hidden underneath my finger now. And then you got a black and red cable, which is most likely the CMOS BIOS battery. Let's see, I'm gonna actually remove the screws for the battery real quick, and we'll just take a look underneath. Quick peek. All right, be very careful with this because the battery is still connected. Okay, you can't really connect that very easily with these things in there. It looks like there's little feet back here, so after you remove the screws you can lift this up slightly. Is there a screw hidden? Oh, there's a screw hidden underneath the SSD, I think. So we're gonna undo the screw for the SSD here. Let me actually zoom in a little bit for you guys. And this also has a little plastic thing. I don't know why they designed it this way, but That's how they designed it. So after you remove that screw, this plastic thing can actually slide off of it this way, and then the SSD can kind of be lifted up. Okay, so you can lift it up slightly like this. Come on, get it up slightly. Then you can grab these sides and you can wiggle and pull it out. There we go. Okay, and as you can see, they were hiding a screw for the battery underneath there. So yeah. All right, so now that we got all 4 battery screws out, we should be able to lift up here and hopefully get the battery out. If you're wondering if I didn't already say it, I think I didn't. Battery model number is right there, L20L4PD3. Okay, that's the battery model number. Okay, so now that we got those 4 screws out, we should be able to lift this top part up and then slide this back. So now that we slid it this way, you can see we can flip this up. Okay, I'm not going to take the battery out, but if you wanted to, usually what I do is I get my finger underneath to kind of grab a portion of that and then pinch and pull it out. Or if you can try and go from this raised bit and try and help pull it out that way. Okay, anyways, you got this connector here, which goes to this big control board to these 2 connectors. I'm assuming these are for the keyboard backlight, because this one, the keyboard backlight, does some fancy stuff. Alright, so this cable, keyboard backlight. You got this tiny one for the touchpad, trackpad connector. And then you got this bigger one, the blue one, which is folded over for the keyboard. Alright, then you also have this black and red, which is what I thought is the CMOS BIOS RTC real-time clock battery. Alright, there's a, oh, I guess they're not hidden, but let's go ahead and get the battery back in. So we need to slide this up, and then these 2 little feet need to, or actually 3 feet, need to slide back underneath. So make sure you get those notched back in. You might have to raise it a little bit to get it into the slot. And there we go. Okay, so we got that in. Keyboard backlight, touchpad, trackpad, keyboard connector, CMOS BIOS RTC real-time clock battery connector. This is the left speaker. The right speaker is over here, connector. You got 1 little fan connector right there, another fan connector there. It does look like there's removable RAM underneath. I'm gonna pop that out and take a look. But everything else does seem to be kind of soldered in place. This board does appear to be removable with a flat ribbon cable going underneath here. I'm not going to peel it up, but that's for the SD card slot and the headphone jack. All right. Okay, and then the DC jack charge port connector seems to be one of those annoying ones for this model. And yeah, okay, not really much else to look at in here. I will pop up the RAM cover just to show you what it looks like. And what type of RAM it is. I'm pretty sure it's DDR4 PC4 RAM, but then we'll check what kind of speed. Also, it's nice that the SSD does come with the little screw mount thing. I don't know why sometimes they don't come with it. It should by default come with it if it has a slot. And then it also comes with the thermal pad, which I personally feel those don't really do much except damage the SSDs faster. Or maybe it's just the higher powered computers kill SSDs faster. I don't know, because most of the computers I see with those thermal pads, the SSDs die way faster. So I don't know what's going on with that. All right, so this metal plate I just get underneath with my fingernail and I pop it up. Okay, and I'm not going to mess with the design for the thermal pads because that's how they design it. So I'm just putting it back the way I found it. But again, I don't know. I've noticed models with the thermal pads, I feel like the SSDs fail sooner. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm trying to peel up this stuff slightly so I can roll this thing back, but it's kind of not wanting to. So can I peel this up? It's going to get a slight crease in it, I'm sure. Okay, so we're going to peel this stuff up. Yeah, it's going to get a crease in it. So all right, then I'm gonna hold here and I'm gonna try and push down and there we go, pop it up. There we go, and now we got that up, so we can kind of fold this over. There's only 1 slot here, it seems. We're gonna pull these 2 tabs to the side, it pops up, and we can pull this out. And this is a 16 gig stick, 16 gigs PC4 3200 AA. So you should be able to use any PC4 3200 AA RAM, but I think currently 16 gigs is the largest stick you can get. I don't know if there's integrated RAM somewhere else. I didn't check if this has 32 gigs or anything. But if it has more than 16 gigs of RAM, then most likely there's integrated RAM, because I don't think they can fit a RAM slot underneath this motherboard. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and get this back into place. Maybe I'll just peel this whole thing up. Okay, so this is, I don't even know why they use this stuff. It's somewhat of a thermal transfer thing. I guess maybe it's supposed to help transfer some thermal into this metal plate to help disperse it a little bit better. GPU is underneath this part, CPU is underneath this part, and no, they're not upgradable or replaceable unless you have some special tools to do it. But yeah, most people aren't going to have that, so if you have to ask, you probably won't be able to do it. All right. Okay, so we're going to get that, click this all into place, stick that back down. Now I made a little crease there, oops. But it's okay, it won't affect anything except for the looks when you open it up. Okay, so the SSD, it's kind of annoying. They wrap this copper whatever sheet thing around it, and then you have this thermal pad. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to peel the thermal pad off first. Okay, all right, we'll peel the thermal pad off, we'll set that over there, and then what we got to do is we got to peel this copper thing off. Okay, which is kind of stupid because I feel like the SSD is gonna get snapped in half just trying to get this thing off. Okay, but we're gonna peel this up. And again, I don't know, I always feel like stuff with all this heat spreading stuff, it dies faster on the SSDs. But I don't know, they design them that way, so let's see. Okay, this stuff is really difficult to peel off, whatever kind of adhesive they used here. Okay, be careful when peeling this off if you want your data, if you're planning to send your thing for data recovery or anything like that. Okay, because you don't want to bend your SSD in half and destroy it. Okay, so there we go, we got that opened up. Gonna go and pull it around and hopefully be able to peel it off the back. I feel they put adhesive on the whole thing. Okay, so carefully peel this up as well. Should I even put this on the new SSD? Okay, there you go. This is a Samsung SSD and it died. And I'm gonna tell you it's most likely because of this heat spreading stuff, but okay, they put some stuff so that the label's gonna just tear up if I peel this off. Okay, so I'm gonna peel this carefully if we can, hopefully not damage the label. And they put a sharp point in here, so if you just peel it quickly, you'll end up tearing this thing off as well. All right, we're gonna go ahead and continue peeling this. Okay, so I have to keep in mind that this goes on this way. Alright, and we'll peel it this way to hopefully keep it all intact. There we go. All kept intact, and that stupid label's still there. Okay, so what we got is a Crucial P3 Plus. I'm going to open this up. And we're going to take the SSD out, and we're going to obviously install this one in there. It comes with a little screw. I don't know why, because most of the time the thing will already have one. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and put this on. So this, how did they line it up? I don't know if it has to be exactly, it's whatever. Okay, I'm just going to wrap this back on there. I don't know if I should, but in theory, it helps spread out the heat, so it should make the thing last longer. But at the same time, I feel like, I don't know, I feel like it makes the heat go where it's not designed to go. I don't know, but that's how they designed it. So, all right, let's go ahead. I mean, it's not how they designed the SSD, it's how they designed the laptop. Okay, so we have this little thing. We're gonna put that back there. Okay, and then we're just gonna get this SSD back into place. Okay, I like to kind of pinch both sides like this, and then we'll get that there. And this thing's kind of peeling up, but it's whatever. Okay, so I'll take this SSD and I will put it in this box and give it back to the customer. I don't know why, but the OEMs, like the computer manufacturers, they put in, I mean, it's a Samsung SSD, but it's not like the real, like Samsung Pro or whatever. This is a model MZ-VL22T00. I have no idea what that is. They always put in SSDs that fail much easier. Anyways, we'll put that in there and give that back to the customer. They can do whatever they want with it. Okay, so put it in the box and we'll give it to them. All right. Next, we're gonna close that up. Okay, we got that in. So we have this little plastic piece, and this one is a little bit tricky to get in, so we're just going to zoom in a bit here. Basically, you want these parts higher than this middle piece, so make sure you're not accidentally flipping it upside down. So I'll get one side over first here. You do have to kind of raise the SSD up a little bit to make it easier. Okay, we'll get that in there, and then we will hold that. We'll swing it over, and there we go. So you can see now it's on. Drop that in place, get the little screw, make sure that's all lined up. Get that screw into place, come on. Is it not lining up right? There we go, okay. And then we just tighten that down. There we go. Okay, so all we gotta do now, put the bottom cover back on, install the operating system, and we should be good to go. If you're wondering how to get to the boot menu or the whatever, the BIOS, there's a little hole here. You just push on that and it will give you a menu that's like the boot menu, the BIOS, boot normally, and recovery mode. Since we changed the SSD out, the recovery mode's not going to be existent anymore. But there we go. All right, so we're going to get this back in. And let me zoom out a little bit more for you guys. Okay, so the way this thing goes back in, basically you slide this bottom piece in first again, because it has those little feet hooks. Okay, get that lined up, slide it back, and then we can go ahead and start clicking everything else down into place. Very simple and straightforward. All right, looks good. Make sure the edges are all flush. You can go ahead and push all around, and then we just get all these screws back in. And that's pretty much it. If you don't know how to install Windows after booting from the Windows drive, then I don't know. I can show you how to. I have a video somewhat showing how to create a Windows USB bootable USB. But yeah, other than that, we're gonna get all these screws in, and that's pretty much all there is to it. Again, if you haven't already, please make sure to like, subscribe, comment, share my channel with others so that they can learn how to upgrade and repair their devices as well. And if it helped you save a bunch of money, again, please consider contributing a little to the channel. It really does help me continue doing these, making these videos for a living and helping others. All right, and yeah, other than that, that's all there is to it. So thanks for watching. Last two screws, and then I'll see you guys in the next one. All right, last one over here. There we go. All right, I'll see you in the next one. Let's drop this bike.